relented if not for our forces, if not for the Sudarshan Chakra, the S-400 that again repelled every single one of these attacks.
Absolutely, Akshita. And so far in the 2 attempts by Pakistan, there has not been a single, casualty. There has not been a single material loss. Even Pakistan tried attacking attacks in 15 cities. Also, this evening we saw that there was attempt by Pakistan, to target some of the military establishments in Jammu, but so far the Pakistani troops have completely failed. Their attempts have completely failed, and Indian Army has given this confirmation that there has not been a single casualty, there has not been a single damage to even the materialistic damage. As far as Indian Army is concerned, Akshita, we have to see in what has happened in last 48 hours. First of all, when India struck down the terrorist hubs in Pakistan, it was so precise, Akshita, that what we saw in Markaz Subhanallah, that entire building, India could have targeted, but they targeted only those areas. That area where, the terrorists were sleeping, they were hiding, that area was targeted. One, because of the intelligence India had at that point of time. Second, with the precise the attack was carried out. So India was successful in attacking those terror hubs. Apart from that, India was already ready for what Pakistan was going to do, because it was, it was already the intelligence that Pakistan will be rattled and they will try such things, around the border areas. And that is why what we saw that, when they attempted to, for drone attacks in the 15 cities or at the LOC or at the international border, all those attempts were foiled, ruined by the Indian Army, because India was completely prepared. And now I think Pakistan will be realizing that all the attempts will be failed. And every time Pakistan attempts, there will be befitting reply. That is what we saw, this morning when the Pakistan air defense system in Lahore was targeted, and end of the day,
making it essentially
Pakistan
an easy target for India. But that message has been put out repeatedly by India, that if you strike us, we're going to strike back, and we'll strike back harder, no matter what. That message hopefully has sunk into Pakistan now. I wouldn't count on it, because very clearly, no matter how many times we've given them a very clear message that we're superior to them and that we can thwart their attacks and at the same time strike them back where it hurts the most, they don't seem to be learning their lesson. And clearly, without any strategy and an army chief who seems to be fueled by nothing but hatred and anger and emotions, perhaps, you can't expect really any sort of concrete decision by Pakistan or sensible decision by Pakistan. So we'll have to see really how they react. But one thing's very clear, that India is not taking this lightly. No matter how Pakistan responds, if there's even an attempt to target a single Indian, India is immediately striking back. And that's a message that the government has been putting forth. The External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, also reiterated that in a bilateral with the Iranian Foreign Minister who's in India. Jaishankar gave a stern reply saying India does not intend to escalate tensions with Pakistan, but at the same time will give a firm response if there are military attacks on India, which there have been, because Pakistan has been repeatedly trying to attack our military establishment. It's another matter, of course, that they've been unsuccessful. But the fact that they even tried, India is making it clear that that's unacceptable.
Excellency, you are visiting India at a time when we are responding to a particularly barbaric terrorist attack on 22nd April in the Indian Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. This attack compelled us to respond on 7th May by striking at cross-border terrorist infrastructure. Our response was targeted and measured. It is not our intention to escalate the situation. However, if there are military attacks on us, there should be no doubt that it will be met with a very, very firm response. As a neighbor and a close partner, it is important that you have a good understanding of the situation.
So that's a statement that came in from the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. This is the line the government has been towing throughout, that these are non-escalatory strikes, non-escalatory responses that India is essentially giving to Pakistan. The message is a no-nonsense approach. Enough is enough. If you hit us once, we're going to hit you 5 times harder. And if you even so much as attempt to target civilian establishments, military establishments, so will we. But we have, of course, maintained our principled stand that we will not target civilians in Pakistan. Pakistan, of course, hasn't bothered extending that same courtesy, which we didn't expect really from the country, which has repeatedly targeted, civilians, which pushes terrorism to target civilians as well. So even now, when you see these attempts to strike at some of the most populated towns bordering Pakistan, trying to target cities, trying to target settlements, civilian establishments, and even in the ceasefire violations, we've been seeing that. It's not really surprising, but India is still maintaining to our core that we will not target civilian establishments. We've hit the military establishments only because they attempted to hit us. And that's very clear in the kind of pictures that's been coming in. Asim, if you could give us more details really on the pockets where there were attempts to attack civilian establishments in Punjab, even just from a few hours ago when those strikes took place by Pakistan. Again, it was targeted in many, many areas at civilian pockets, at civilian settlements.
Yes, last night only, this night only, when Pakistan did its misadventure and you can see the cities like Jammu, which is very thickly populated, the cities like Pathankot, which has very, very high population, and the cities like Jalandhar, they all came under attack from Pakistan. But thankfully, the Indian troops were maintaining a high alert and they neutralized everything. But Pakistan, never shied away from targeting military or civilian places of Indian territories, because they went bamboozled after their missile attacks were basically shaken up by the Indian troops. But the foreign minister had categorically said that India maintains a non-escalatory attacks. But yes, India will never attack the civilian places or the military establishments. But Pakistan did it, so India had to reply in its own way. But attacking civilians by Pakistan is very, very unfortunate. Although what fortunately happened was the Indian troops and its air defense worked very hard, basically to nail down every attempt made by Pakistan. So the cities like Punjab, in Jalandhar, in Pathankot, these were the places which were densely populated, and even Jammu was basically came under attack from Pakistan. So this is very unfortunate that Pakistan has done some misadventure, which has been given a befitting reply by the Indian troops. So blackouts are in Punjab continuously. We are in Amritsar in the border district, and you can see the vigil is very, very high. So India said that India basically took a revenge for the Pahalgam terror attack, where the innocents were killed by the Pakistan-sponsored terrorists. But after that, Pakistan basically fired missiles, which were also, the missiles also came in the villages of Amritsar district. The debris was in Amritsar district, and those villages was also very, very densely populated. Fortunately, there was no loss of life, no casualty, nothing like that. But Pakistan tried its best to hit the civilians.
Yeah, about 15 hours ago, when I was in fact leading a bulletin at about 12 p.m. in the afternoon, is when Asim Basi actually was live with us from Amritsar. And he was actually reporting about the remnants of a missile that was found. At that point, it was all up in the air. We had no details that had really come in of where this missile had come from, where was this debris from. There was an investigation that we were reporting on, a forensic team that was there gathering all of that evidence. 2 hours later came the statement that we had hit back. There were counter-strikes because Pakistan had attempted to target military establishments. And since then, we've seen so many fast-paced developments. In the last 14 hours, you've seen our counter-strikes and a communication of that, a confirmation of that. Then you had Pakistan attempting again to go ahead and rain missiles, drones, even putting in fighter jets this time in their arsenal. None of it worked because India, as ever, was fully alert. We had our reliable Sudarshan Chakra, the S-400 air defense system, fully deployed out there, bringing down every missile and drone before it could create any damage or wreak any chaos or havoc. And then the fighter jets, those that came close by, 3 shot down by our alert forces. 2 JF-17, 1 F-16 brought down. And so we're going to be reporting on all of that once day breaks. Of course, we'll have more details trickling in and perhaps more signs, evidence of what really India's response has been like, because we are hearing that there's been a strong counter-strike by India on Pakistan, sending across a very clear message to the Pakistan army that you mess with us, you don't know what you're dealing with. You mess with us, you will get it right back. One step, for every one step Pakistan takes, we take 10 steps ahead. That's very, very clear. And India's not mincing that message at all. We've called it non-escalatory because that's exactly what it is. With Pakistan resorting to targeting our civilian establishments and military establishments, in one sense, we're still held back, which is that we're not targeting their civilians. But we are going to continue tracking all the updates that come in. Munish, Asim, thanks very much for joining us with those details. A battery of reporters spread across the border, across the international border and the LOC, over 3,000 kilometers, reporting on the precautionary measures, blackouts, schools being closed, airports being shut, but at the same time on how we successfully repelled another attempt by Pakistan to target our civilians, to target our military bases. These are the images from a few hours ago when we saw all those explosions taking place and explosions in the skies, because our robust air defense system immediately thwarted any attempt by Pakistan. And that will continue to be the case. But for every single missile, drone, fighter that Pakistan sends across, India is hitting back. And details of our counter-strike, we should be able to get you in the morning. And also, of course, at 9 a.m., there's expected to be a briefing by the MEA once again, giving out all details. We are getting you here on India Today, our non-stop rolling 24-hour coverage, because what we're witnessing is unprecedented. It deserves unprecedented non-stop coverage as well. We're getting you all of these images. I'm slipping into a very, very short break. We'll be right back, getting you more on the other side.
While covering news, there is no room for fluff. No distractions. No dodging the truth. No blanks, no misfires. Just sharp, fearless journalism. Every story, every debate, every question, straight to the point.
These are the documented evidence that how Pakistan targeted the innocent civilians in India's this Poonch district, and this was in response to the airstrike carried out by Indian forces, the Indian armed forces, in retaliation in response to the Pahalgam terror attack. Since yesterday early morning, it was indiscriminate fire, and not just medium or small arms, but this time they used long barrel guns, and these massive explosions were taking place all in the locality, in the civilian areas, even when one shell that fell right exactly here at the petrol pump, and the magnitude of the explosion was such huge that you see everything all over. These are the sharpness, the sprinters of the explosions of the shelling, because it was indiscriminate shelling in this entire area. One could feel the potential, the magnitude of this. Such, we know the dozens of the people, innocent people, there are children, there are women, people, innocent civilians who died in the Poonch district because of the indiscriminate shelling. All these footprints are the documented evidence, and exactly when the shelling was taking place in this area, when the Pakistan targeted civilians, a moving car which also came under the attack, and the shrapnels killed one person even in this. So this is the outer part of the Poonch district as we are headed en route to the epicenter of the Pakistani shelling in Poonch. That explains, you know, the the response by the Pakistani, when they said it was retaliation, the retaliation was actually against the civilians, against the innocent people of Punch. When India carried out strike, the indiscriminate shelling started. Since yesterday afternoon, the situation, are quite prevailing a calm, but that's also intense. A lot of people have left from this area. They have evacuated. They have gone to the safer places, and that's how the furious situation explains here in the city of Punch in Jammu and Kashmir.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
So sorry. Ui, ai da.
Breaking news that's coming in. More details really of the counter-strike on Pakistan currently, with India targeting Lahore. Our Navy reports suggest have also attacked Karachi after, and this is right after, Pakistan attempted to rain missiles and drones on India. We understand that now the counter-strikes are underway, details of which is still trickling in. We are only going by verified reports that's coming in on the manner, the nature of the strike, the counter by India. But what we can tell you is that Lahore has been targeted. We understand that the Navy has also been pressed in here, attacking Karachi. Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister, will be meeting with the Chief of Defence Staff as well as the 3 service chiefs later today. There's a possibility of a briefing in the morning on the developments that have happened through the night, and there have been a whole lot of those. The Ministry of Defence has already issued a detailed statement on the strikes, or the attempted strikes rather, by Pakistan when they fired and essentially sent across a barrage of missiles and drones, all of which, by the way, was repelled, was thwarted. It did lead to a bit of a scare for locals who live along the border areas, but they had absolutely nothing to be afraid of. As the Ministry of Defence said, this whole exercise of Pakistan's lasted essentially for just about 35 minutes, and then all of their attacks, their drones, missiles, were repelled, leading to now a counter-strike by India. Now, the details that are emerging, and these are pictures right now on your screens, from a few hours ago, from when there was a blackout in all of the border towns, the cities, the villages, as you saw those explosions taking place in the sky. All of those were missiles, drones that were being intercepted as well. I'll just get you a quick update of what's happening on the ground right now. Asim Bassi is joining us live right now. Asim, what's the situation currently? I know that, while we saw about 30 minutes of these explosions taking place in the sky, since then, it's been a quiet night. It's been a peaceful night.
We have seen a totally blackout in Amritsar, and we are in a border district, and after the Pakistan's misadventure was neutralized in the regions of Jammu and Pathankot and Jalandhar, and then India launching a massive counterattack against Pakistan. There's a complete pitch dark in the border district of Amritsar. The schools are closed for the next 3 days. The airport is closed. The airport lights are switched off, and totally we've seen that the security has been tightened, be it inside the the city or on the borders. And definitely India giving a very, very buffeting reply to the Pakistan's misadventure. But the troops are keeping a guard very, very high. And this border region, which is very sensitive because of its strategic location, because Punjab shares a 553-kilometer long border with Pakistan. So be it Jalandhar, be it Bathinda, be it Ludhiana or Amritsar, every city of Punjab is on a high vigil.
Okay, all right, Asim, thanks for that update. Just a quick news break also coming in right now. India and Pakistan have issued multiple notifications currently for simultaneous naval firing exercises across various zones in the Arabian Sea. India has in fact put out the dates of 8th to 13th May, Pakistan 9th to 12th May. And Sandeep Unithan is with me here in the studio for a marathon coverage of what's really happening right now. Sandeep, how do you read into these notifications for naval firing exercises? Do you see now what we're seeing between India and Pakistan now moving to the seas as well, with reports suggesting that the Navy has already kicked into action attacking Karachi?
Well, how I see these NOTAMs that have been issued over for missile firing is possibly, putting out some level of uncertainty over there. While the Pakistan military has been looking over their eastern borders with India, the naval exercises, the naval missile firing drills in the south are meant to take their attention away and possibly open up a new dimension over the maritime space. And this is an area where Pakistan is really, really deficient, Akshita. The fact that they have a navy that is possibly 1/5 or 1/6 the size of India. We are heavily overmatched over there, whether it's in terms of submarines or fighter aircraft, naval fighter aircraft, and of course warships. There is a huge overmatch that India has over Pakistan in the naval arena, and this is something that Pakistan is acutely aware of. Asim Munir called Kashmir Pakistan's jugular. Actually, the jugular is far south in the North Arabian Sea, because as we demonstrated in the 1971 war, when that jugular was struck, Pakistan's navy was destroyed when it was out at sea. Its ships were bottled up in harbor. There were no merchant ships that could enter or leave without the Indian Navy knowing about it. They had to seek permission from the Indian Navy because they had enforced a maritime blockade. And this is something that India has usually signaled in the past as well, with the Kargil War of 1999, and of course later in Op Parakram, when naval fleets were used not to blockade, but to signal the intent, signal resolve by the sheer presence of the Indian Navy in the North Arabian Sea. That is meant to inject a certain amount of uncertainty in the mind of Pakistan's military planners, that the fact that there could be naval options exercised as well. They could, the missiles that are being test fired could well turn in the other direction and head towards Pakistan if it chooses to escalate right now, 48 hours after India's unprecedented Operation Sindoor, Akshita.
It's been a long few nights, essentially, with these kind of strikes and then counter strikes. And let's be very, very clear that every step has been initiated by Pakistan. And this has been India then countering and sending across a very clear message that we simply won't take it. We won't have Pakistan attacking us, or attempting to attack us rather, and us letting them get away with it, or let it just slip away. So we've been sending across a very clear message on that, which is why right after the Pakistan drone and missile strikes, which completely failed, which lasted about 35 minutes, right after you had India with the counter strike as well, firing at Lahore, which has been hugely compromised because of last night's strikes. And you'd think that, seeing that the Pakistan army's already been compromised in Lahore, they wouldn't have gone ahead with these strikes tonight, which is why a lot of experts who've been joining us on this marathon coverage have also been opining that this is the Pakistan army with zero strategy, just going ahead and doing whatever it takes to target India. And that's why India, being at its highest level of alertness right now, has been able to repel every single one of these attacks. So who knows, the Pakistan army, despite knowing that, its naval fleet is nothing when compared to India, could just go ahead and unleash there too, in which case you're going to be inviting the wrath of the Indian Navy as well. Reports, though, do suggest that already we are seeing some action in Karachi taking place. The Indian Navy, we're being told, has struck Karachi, but what kind of strikes, what kind of damage. We don't have those details just yet for you. We're still working on getting those confirmations, and we'll also wait for the government's communication on the same. The government is putting out constantly details of the operation that's underway, as much as can be revealed, of course, at this stage. But also what you hear a lot about murmurs, Sandeep, from Pakistan is that, look, there is a lot of anger against the Pakistan army, which has been known for the last many months, years, has been building up. But add to it now these unsuccessful strikes and the fact that they've been unable to repel even one of India's strikes versus we've repelled all of theirs. It's bound to also lead to all of this anger against the Pakistan army boil over.
Yeah, absolutely, Akshita. And as you mentioned earlier, what is the strategy here? Well, there's no strategy. The Pakistan army has not had a strategy because it never thinks strategically. It is a tactical military. It has been a tactical military for nearly 80 years. It jumps into conflicts. It creates these conflicts. It throws the first punches, but it never ends well for them. Whether you look at 1947, 48, or 1965, 1971, 1999, and now, as we've seen in the past few years, 2016, Uri, the attack that invited surgical strikes from India, 2019, Pulwama, we struck Balakot, the first time since 1971, and then Pahalgam in April 2025, which saw India cross a line that had not been crossed since 1971, striking at targets in the heartland of Pakistan, that is its Punjab province, from where it recruits nearly 70% of the Pakistan military is recruited from Punjab province. And we have struck by day and at night, literally round the clock attacks on Punjab province. And we've also struck